The 90D is not good for video because it doesn't have IBIS. It's an old camera. Using the Canon 90D in 2023 with not stabilized lenses would be an issue. What's up guys, Dan Frullani here and welcome back to a new video. What do I talk about today? I'm gonna talk about a camera, but wait a minute, sounds too strong. Gonna wear my sunglasses. I hope you don't mind. Anyways, I want to talk about one camera because I realize I'm not making enough videos with this camera. But let's start from the beginning. When I started my channel, I was using the Canon M50 and then I switched to the Canon 90D, which is such an awesome camera, and I used it a lot. I can say I built my channel on this camera, the Canon 90D. But then in 2020, I got the Canon EOS R and then the Canon R6 and then also the Canon R7. So, without even noticing, I found myself making videos about the Canon 90D less and less. Now that I think about it, I kind of regret it, because it's such a great camera, for many reasons. I actually made a video like a few months ago, 5 reasons why I still love this camera in 2023, especially for video, which is my main focus. I'm a photographer and video maker, but video maker first. In this video, I just want to highlight something about this camera. And it's gonna be about video again. What about it? This time about its stabilization, or better saying, the lack of stabilization with this camera, because it doesn't have IBIS. It does have electronic stabilization, and also if you use stabilized lenses, well, that's not really an issue. But to answer to all the ones saying the 90D is not good for video because it doesn't have IBIS, it's an old camera. Well, let me answer. There are many cameras, very modern cameras, meant especially for video, that don't have IBIS, in-body stabilization. For example, we have the Canon R5. It has IBIS, but they made the Canon R5C specifically for video, for movies. And guess what? It doesn't have IBIS. And also, the new Canon R8, which in my opinion is very video-oriented. Does it have IBIS? No. And also, if you're familiar with cinema cameras, the ones for the movies like Hollywood, the real deal, they do not have IBIS or any kind of stabilization. So, if we talk about the Canon 90D, not having in-body stabilization doesn't make it less suitable for making videos. But let's see. Right now, I'm using it, like you're looking at it right now, with an EF lens. There is to say that you can use this camera, the Canon 90D, with EF and EFS lenses without the need of any adapter. And that's a very good thing. The only downside is that you cannot use RF lenses because they're just for mirrorless cameras. But being able to use the Canon 90D with EF and EFS lenses, we have such a wide range, such a great variety of lenses we can choose from. In this case, I'm using an EF lens. In the beginning, I thought of using the EFS 10 to 18mm, but then I decided against it because I wanted to try this today, the Canon 90D, with a lens without stabilization. And the EF 16 to 35mm f2.8 version 2 Mark II, I heard it both ways, does not have stabilization. So right now it doesn't really matter because I'm using it on a tripod, so it's not moving. But let's see what happens if I use it like for a situation like vlogging, for example, walking without any stabilization, no camera stabilization, no electronic stabilization, and this lens, which again doesn't have stabilization. Alright, so what do you think about it? Leave a comment down below, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and check the links in the description to see all my gear stuff and things. And if you click the link to Epidemic Sound, you can get 1 month of awesome music in Grey Sound FX. 1 month for free. Alright, so it might be a little shaky, yeah, but the situation improves when we activate the electronic stabilization. course, there is to say that we get a minor crop on top of the 1.6 crop because this is a crop sensor camera, so the 16 to 35 millimeters, when at 16 millimeters, it corresponds to a 25.6 millimeters, 25-ish, something like that. And with the electronic stabilization on, we get some extra crop, but no big deal, because I do think the situation improves a lot. Of course, we could use the enhanced electronic stabilization, but I'm not a big fan because it doesn't really look good. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but I don't really want to take a chance and find myself with unusable shots. Of course, when we use it for B-rolls, for example, unless we use it on top of a tripod. So I'm talking about when we make a B-roll like handheld with movement, or we move the camera. If we do it in real-time speed, even with the electronic stabilization on, it might be a little shaky. But we can improve that shooting in slow motion, like at 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second. Because when we shoot in slow motion, everything is slower. So let's say all the shakings are minimized, and it's much easier to get usable footage when shooting in slow motion, because when we film and we move, chances are we end up getting at least 1 full second of smooth movement. In 60 frames per second, we can slow it down by 50%. If it's 2 times lower, we have 2 usable smooth seconds. And if we shoot 120 frames per second, that 1 second, that 1 smooth second with a buttery, smooth, steady movement become 4 seconds. Also, there are situations where we don't really want a completely buttery smooth movement. It depends what we're shooting. Sometimes the shaking, or some, not too much, give it a touch of reality. Not too much, of course. Alright, so in the end, using the Canon 90D in 2023 with not stabilized lenses would be an issue. For me, no, not at all. So I'm gonna wrap it up. But before that, I wanted to say that I'm probably gonna make more videos about the Canon 90D, because you know, the fact that it's not a new camera doesn't mean that people don't use it. Maybe you already have it, maybe you're considering buying it, and if you are aware of the specs and this is what you need for work, or if you use it just as an amateur, as a hobby, you don't really need a newer and more expensive camera. I understand I haven't been making many videos about it because I'm the kind of person who always wants the latest piece of gear, the latest camera, and also the fact that I'm a YouTuber doesn't help. So I find myself making videos always about new things to show them to you and help you decide whether to buy them or not. But again, if I am still making videos about this camera, the Canon 90D, that means even now in 2023, I consider it such an awesome camera and it's definitely worth buying. Alright, I think I don't have anything else to say. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, smash the like button and subscribe if you aren't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah!